Ho, ho, ho. The Cris David Show is back. We'll catch up on current events, the election, coffee, drones, and where I've been up to. I'll drop a little science as well. The Cris David Show starts now. It's time. Welcome back. I'm your host, Cris David, and this is season 3 of the Cris David Show. Can you believe it? Yeah, we got to clap it up for that. Anyway, how was your Thanksgiving? What'd you cook? Yo, listen, I made this bomb mac and cheese. I got the recipe from this guy, this chef. His name is Alden B. Kind of look alike. Anyway, thanks for that recipe, Alden B. For that mac and cheese. Now listen, now listen to me. Listen to me. Look at me here. That election. Now, if you follow me on IG, I already told you, death, taxes, and FAFO are inevitable. But if you did the right thing, you don't have anything to worry about. Now, if you're part of the leftists eating my face crew, I don't know what to tell you. You're FAFO'd and it is what it is. I told you Karma's cousin with the BBL. I'm not spending a long time on this because we have a lot to get through and I don't want to oppress you because it's Christmas. But how's everything with you though? How was your summer? Mine was chaotic as hell. Now, I may have hinted at this on the show in the past, but I was in the process of moving. Without giving up too much info, I was living somewhere where I had to go get out, in a short period of time because the place had sold. So in the meantime, I had to quickly find somewhere else. And I thought I did, but that place had a crack in its foundation. Yeah. And it's wild because on the surface, it was a really nice place, like completely redone, nice floors, had a bar in the basement, 3 full bathrooms. It was dope. But those head asses did all of that to hide what was really going on with the house. So then I had less than 2 weeks to find something else, or else I'm legit going to be out on the streets. So this other place comes up, perfect location, right by the New York train, right by the highway. Only thing is, it wasn't move-in ready. So I'll say from Juneteenth to probably Thanksgiving, we were still working on the house. I mean, everything from cleaning it out, to getting a new roof, to getting new floors, updating the kitchen, painting, building new rooms, adding closets, anything you could think of, we did. And my goal was to be done by the holidays. And so here we are. So I'm glad I was able to set up my space. Looks kind of familiar, and turn my camera on and give you a show. So I'll drop a little quick home Renovations Science on YouTube. So when we got in here, the kitchen had this old raggedy backsplash. And I knew I wanted to change something, change it to more of my taste. So I thought that I could just chisel off the old backsplash and get some cement and put on a new one. Wrong. We had to remove the entire drywall and replace it with new drywall just to put the new black backsplash on. There's a bunch of other moving parts associated with that process, but I won't bore you with this whole house talk. Do you know the story about Rudolph the Red-nosed Reindeer, the song? So back in the day, there was a store called Montgomery Ward. And if you're from Chicago, then your parents or your grandparents will definitely remember Monkey Wards. So Rudolph started off as a story in 1939 to save money after the store had been buying and giving away Christmas booklets every year. A man named Robert L. May wrote the story and had originally considered naming Rudolph Reginald or Rollo. He chose the reindeer because it was his daughter's favorite animal at the Lincoln Park Zoo. Rudolph's popularity grew from the storybooks and also a cartoon. A decade later, John David Marks, who happened to be May's brother-in-law, wrote the classic that we all know and love today. How about that? Could you imagine Reginald the Red-nosed Reindeer? Could you? Yeah, that's a lot. What are you doing today for Christmas? So I'm cagey when it comes to going out during the holidays. People just have the worst attitudes out there. Then there's always that one family member who pretends they're in the holiday spirit, but they really just want to agitate everyone. It gets dicey sometimes, but this year the vibes are higher. So going to brunch after the show, and then tonight I'm gonna put on some Christmas movies and just chill with some eggnog. Maybe the special kind of eggnog. You know the one. So up on the screen, this is funny. I have 3 Christmas rules. Don't go into debt trying to show people how much you love them. True that. 2, don't go visit your family if it compromises your mental health. Yep. 3, if someone comments on your weight, exactly. Let's talk about number 1. People max out their credit cards, and some of you even take out home equity loan, just trying to buy presents. Listen, spend time, not money. That's what this time of year is all about. Ho, ho, ho. What Christmas movies do you like? I like the claymation joints, from back in the day. Like, I watch Home Alone 2, and I like the ones they show on Lifetime and Hallmark. One of my favorite movies, Coming to America. Someone said that that's technically a Christmas movie. I don't know. I mean, it was wintertime. I guess I see it kind of. I think Trading Places, though, that was more of a Christmas movie. In August, we lost John Amos, who many of us know as James Evans on Good Time, or as Mr. McDowell in Coming to America. Now, this story has a lot of moving parts, so I'm going to try to break it down for you the best I can. Now, this woman right here, this is John's daughter, Shannon Amos. Now, according to Shannon, she learned about her father's death the same way we did. I know. Now, John's other family members and loved ones accused the late actor's son, KC, Kelly Christopher, this guy right here, of isolation and elder abuse. Apparently, there was a no contact order that Shannon filed against her brother, and that was the reason why she and the public hadn't learned of her father's passing more than a month prior. According to John's death certificate, he died of congestive heart failure on August 21st at a hospital in Inglewood, California. No autopsy was performed, and there were no other significant medical conditions contributed to his death. The certificate also confirmed that his remains were cremated on August 30th. KC was listed as the person who reported his father's death to the county and is allegedly in possession of his ashes. John's goddaughter, Amy Gowdy, alleges that KC, a man named Eugene Brummett, who apparently runs some kind of entertainment management company, and a woman named Belinda Foster, who is claimed to be everything from John's spokesperson to his publicist to his power of attorney, quote, isolated the actor from his loved ones despite their repeated attempts to maintain contact, unquote. Gowdy further claimed Casey prevented access to his father, controlled and monitored his calls, and cut him off from family members, including Shannon, his brother Leslie Franklin, his accountant and business manager, and others. She goes on to say, quote, Casey portrayed an image of a close father-son relationship on social media, but the reality was far more complex, unquote, alleging that KC gave his father verbal prompts to create a false narrative on social media. Gowdy also says they received photos from the neighbors and a doctor that made them think John may have been being isolated and neglected before his death. See, at the time of John's death, Casey was under a strict no-contact order from the Superior Court of New Jersey based on a complaint Shannon filed against him in 2023 when he threatened to kill her and made other terroristic threats toward her. Foster, John's spokesperson, aka power attorney, aka PR lady, said, quote, as a condition of his pretrial release, KC is precluded from making any contact with Shannon directly or indirectly by phone, social media, or any other method of communication. At the time of his death, John was concerned that Shannon might turn his death and internment into a circus, as she had done with other aspects of his life. It was John who requested the delay in announcing his death to Shannon and the rest of the world, unquote. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to keep going. Gowdy, remember, she's John's goddaughter, cited a 2023 investigation into his care that was prompted when Shannon alleged he was a victim of elder abuse. At the time, Shannon filed a complaint with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and created a GoFundMe page for care expenses, which she later removed at his request. John later spoke out to People magazine, calling the claims of elder abuse false and unmerited. Gowdy's statement claimed the 2023 investigation was triggered by a photo they discovered claiming the circumstances of John's death mirrored Shannon and Casey's mother's death, which, by the way, was very, very tragic. Her name was Noni Mickelson, and she had gone in for a routine surgery that ended up leaving her paralyzed. They claimed Shannon fought to be by her mother's side after Casey prevented family from being present and making decisions together. And that was in 2016. According to Gowdy, not even doctors or the authorities had informed them of John's passing. Casey didn't even notify the family directly, and they believe he likely made the decision to have his father cremated without their knowledge. She went on to say that Casey's actions were taken to alter potential wills and collect life insurance or other benefits, while alleging his previous struggles with addiction, mental health issues, and a previous arrest record. Gowdy's statement concluded, quote, while we mourn the loss of our beloved father, we are also saddened and outraged by Casey Amos's actions. We refuse to rule out the possibility of foul play, especially given the involvement of two individuals, Eugene Brummer and Belinda Foster, who we believe may have taken advantage of his vulnerability as an elder. At a time when we should be grieving and celebrating our father's remarkable life, we find ourselves in the unfortunate position of seeking justice and clarity, unquote. Foster, remember, she's the jackstress of all trades, says while she plans on continuing to represent her clients with enthusiasm and skill as a professional publicist, she feels, quote, sorry that Shannon has chosen this path, but consistent with John's approach, I will respond to her with firmness but compassion, unquote. She then goes on to say that John loved his daughter, but calls her a, quote, difficult child. Then she talks about how he had to get an order to shut down a GoFundMe page that she had put up. Then she claims John was in sound mind because he did a few interviews and he was on a TV show all earlier in 2024, and that medical authorities interviewed him and found him to be mentally sound. Now listen, anyone can send questions via email and get them answered. Not saying that's how they did it, but if someone wanted to make it look like someone was okay, they could do that through electronic means without talking on the phone or shoving a mic in someone's face. Anyway, Foster concluded, for the sake of preserving John's well-earned reputation as a superb actor and community activist, we hope we can put to rest these nonsensical claims that Shannon is offering out of her own pain as a result of estrangement from her father. Yo, this Belinda lady is carrying hard, son. Like, I can just hear her tone in my head, like all shrill and passive aggressive and whatnot. She's not even white, this lady. Her Karening's on turbo. I'm saying that too because I don't want you harassing the wrong lady. Don't harass anyone, seriously. And you know, I didn't put a picture of her up because I really don't need y'all bothering people. As far as John's elder abuse case goes, the LAPD says there are no updates. Now, Casey, you sound very shady and greedy. I can understand wanting to keep the public out of certain things, but I mean, come on, to alienate your sister and your god sister and the people who loved and cared for your parents not once but twice, It's giving greed, and it's giving greed. Belinda, you sound shady as well, and you know entirely more than what you're sharing with the rest of the family. Shannon said on her Instagram that someone was in the ER posing as John's daughter when she wasn't there, and they believe it was you. It's like you all tried to pull a weekend at Bernie's and it backfired because the universe said, not on James Evans, you won't. But shout out to the baby boomers. They have this saying, it all comes out in the wash. But I'll keep the rest of my comments to myself because this all just seems suspicious. You know, you guys know I'm skeptical of everyone. But listen, if you have a job or you own property and or you have children, guess what? You need a will. You also need something called a living revocable trust and an advance directive. Now, a will is for when you're gone. An advance directive and living revocable trust are for while you're here, but just in case you're in a situation where you can't advocate for yourself. And all of these documents are inexpensive, by the way. You should also have insurance. You need something called AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment. You also need CI or critical illness insurance. Both of these are something that your job offers, and you'll see them when you fill out your paperwork, for pre-employment and, do your benefits. They're extremely cheap and they'll pay out a large lump sum of cash if you're injured or worse. And I mean, you see what's going on with Wendy, with Britney Spears, don't let it happen to you. Anyway, to Shannon, Amy, and all of John's family, we here at the Cris David Show are very sorry for your loss, and we offer our condolences. Thank you to Mr. John Amos for your body of work. You left us with some of the most memorable roles in television and cinema. Do you remember he was the officer in the Players Club? Remember him and Faison Love? He's like, because it's playing in my head. He's like, take some of that bass out your voice, bitch. You just forgot your keys, dumbass. Oh, Dollar Bill Bernie back in the trunk, like, come on, man, let me out of here. I got insomnia. He's in the trunk. Jokes aside, elder abuse is real. And if you suspect anyone is being abused, or you might be an elder yourself and you're being abused, you can contact the Eldercare Locator by phone at 800-677-1116. They have specially trained operators there who will refer you to a local agency that can help. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. By the way, Amy, I heard about your music collection. Yeah, we do our research here at the Cris David Show. I have to check you out next time I'm in Charlotte. They call her Miss Amy down there. But now, I'm gonna lean in. I just want to know who this young lady is who made this comment about Mr. Amos. If you're listening to the show, I'm referring to this photo right here of him and a young lady named Mariah Cobb. Now, in the picture, it looks like they're at a campground somewhere. She's standing next to him, and they both have that late night, early morning look. We all know that look. And the caption under her post says, "R.I.P. to a legend, John Amos. Remember, I put this capital P on you so good this day you could barely move," unquote. Oh, Mariah. I mean, listen, John was looking like he might have needed two of himself to handle you, Mariah. Yeah, I see what you patch your braids. Anyway, moving on. Did you hear about Kimiko the cat? Well, she was shot in the butt with an arrow. I know. According to the PSPCA, Kimiko the cat was found near the 2100 block of North 31st Street in Strawberry Mansion. That's in North Philadelphia if you're not familiar. And if you are, that's 31st Street between Ridge and Diamond, down north. Kimiko lived in a colony, and when her caretaker went to feed, found her in her regular waiting place with an arrow protruding through her right thigh. Kimiko was taken to the Philadelphia Animal Specialty and Emergency, where she was stabilized and taken into the PSPCA's care. Surgeons were able to remove the arrow as well as save her leg, and she's still recovering in the Shelters Hospital at the PSPCA's Philadelphia headquarters. The PSPCA Animal Law Enforcement is still investigating this act of cruelty, and anyone with information is asked to contact the PSPCA's cruelty hotline at 866-601-7722 or cruelty@pspca.org. Right, and you thought I was talking about some new bottle girl on IG or something. See? But there's a special place in hell for people who harm animals. Apparently, wasn't the first incident of a cat being shot with an arrow. Back in 2019, there were 2 reports of cats being shot with arrows, including one in which the cat was killed, both in New Jersey about an hour from where Kimiko was shot. And listen, I love my cat. Look at that face. Mr. Bob Marley. Don't let him calm you, though. He just ate. But yeah, I couldn't imagine someone hurting him like that. We keep him inside. He has plenty of toys and exercise equipment, here at home. So I called the PSPCA to see if Kimiko is available for adoption, and she's still recovering from her surgery. Also, she's evidence in a crime. So until that's fully investigated, they just can't hand her over to someone. But best of luck to little Kimiko. Speaking of cats, look at this clip. Now, those of you listening, this cat in China got arrested. Look. For guess what? Guess what he got arrested for? Stealing fish. Look how big the fish is, too. Look at the fish. Looks like a trout or maybe a catfish. I had to, guys. Come on, me by now. Anyways, the catfish burglar was released, and him and his dinner are doing well. Or is he dinner as well? Okay, I'm done. But wait, so my brother-in-law, shout out to him, had a birthday. I put the picture up on the screen. That's him in the Yankee fitted. Anyway, we're at this hibachi place, and the chef is making these cat noises while he's putting the chicken on the grill. He looks like Flynn a little bit, that cat. Flynn is Khai's cat. Shout out to Khai, Khai from our men's panel, friend to the show. These are actually from his Christmas party Friday night at the Rum Bar. Crowd was a motley crew too, very representative of Brooklyn, let me tell you. So every year, they do an ugly sweater party. And this was, I think, the 6th year they did it. But Khai, you know what I noticed? Khai, I'm talking to you through the show. You will watch. Not too many people had on ugly sweaters. I mean, I saw some sweaters, but I guess, ugly is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, Khai, even you didn't have on a sweater. Look at Khai. He's dressed like one of the Black Strippendales or something. Anyway, thanks to Khai and the homie Keith for putting together such a dope event. Yeah. Shout out to the bartender too. The girl with the Santa costume on. You didn't have pina colada for me, so you gave me a rum punch. It was brolic. A rum punch was brolic, y'all. It was. Thank you. So, the sea of beige. Like, what? What in the 90s R&B? Those two are cousins, by the way, at the top of the picture. Look at the eye area. I know I had to let you know because it could go either way. But me and Khai are not related. So let's talk about Khalid. If you didn't already know, um, some non-singing clout chaser revenge outed him right before Thanksgiving. I'm not saying the dude's name. I'm not even putting up this picture. He's just some unimportant attention seeking wannabe singer with like 800 streams on Spotify. Anyway, meanwhile, Khalid has millions. Here's the deal. People today, for some reason, think that if they align themselves with someone, then that gives them the chance to, make it. I mean, just look at any young famous person, be them a singer, a rapper, a streamer, a YouTuber, whatever. Just because you align yourself with someone or date them doesn't mean that you're going to achieve de facto success by osmosis. Khalid, you're not out of the water either. Get your picker together, young man. You understand? Don't fall for any old dude you could pull out of the retro over on Jerome Avenue. All right? And and listen, this isn't a diss at all to Khalid. Khalid, I like your voice and I like your music. But back in the day, you had to really know how to sing in order to be on the radio. Right? Like something happened in the 90s where it was okay for an artist to kind of not be able to carry a tune and still get airplay. Or like people were hiding in groups. Like it used to be back in the day, you had a group and everybody in the group had to do something, and then something happened where there were people in groups, even leading groups, and they really couldn't sing. Listen, forget it. They let people on the radio today sounding like, Pokemon characters. I mean, it is what it is, and it's true. Even the rappers knew how to sing back in the day. I mean, they played instruments too. See, this is why you need to vote. About 5 presidents ago, they started cutting music programs in schools. Now everyone's tone deaf. But oh well. Enjoy me, Alf. When do you take your Christmas decorations down? Moving on. When do you take your Christmas decorations down? Or whatever holiday you celebrate around this time of year. I usually put mine up the week of Christmas, but this year, after all of the renovations, I felt festive, so I put them up the week before Thanksgiving. I normally take them down right after my birthday, but before Martin Luther King Day. Now this year, I don't know. I may take them down sooner, as in tomorrow, because I'm over it now. I don't know what happened. And we have 2 trees up. One goes upstairs because the ceilings are higher, and the other one goes on the main floor. And I put all the ornaments on that one. Yeah, look at the tree. Yeah, I get that from my mom. She used to go all out for Christmas. I mean, that last day of school before the holidays, when you go to school and just watch Christmas movies, I already knew she'd be baking. When I got home, the radio would be on, and we'd be putting up the decorations. And I miss those days. So shout out to my mom. She's older now. So she has this pop-up Christmas tree. I got it, and you just open it up and then it goes right back in the little box. And I told her and my father they need to just do Kwanzaa and call it a season, honestly. I mean, how easy is it to just light a candle every day and cook? I'm kidding. I know Kwanzaa is more involved in that, but there's no tree. You understand what I'm saying? There's no tree. So, what you get for Christmas? So I got a new coffee maker. I had to get rid of my old one. It was making me sick. And who knew that those ones where you put the pod in and you press it down, that they were breeding grounds for mold. I'm not going to name the company, but if you have one, just make sure you clean it and descale it on the regular. And descale it, like you have to make your own schedule because sometimes the light just doesn't come on. But I like this new one because I drink loose coffee, which by the way, our guy Pusha T, grinding, grinding, He's got a coffee line now, and it's called Grindin. Now The actual coffee will be out sometime in 2025, but they've been doing pop-up shops out in LA called Grindin Coffee Co. Coffee is described as a highly caffeinated blend of strong black coffee, reflecting the artist's taste. How do you like your coffee? I'm going to put up a graphic for you. I'm okay with one or two when I'm first trying to get a feel for the flavor, but I'm a six usually. Anything higher than that is affogato territory. And it's funny, the person who reposted this, um, they said 4 through 6 is where the sexy people hang out, and 1 through 3 is for serial killers. No comment on the bottom row 7 through 9. Like I said, that's affogato territory. Or if you're from Philly, you remember Wawa used to sell those French vanilla cappuccinos? Remember back in like the 2000s? I swear that thing was milk and sugar. I used to get one of those every morning. That and the Pizza Hut personal pan pizza, back when every bite had a pepperoni in it. Yeah, but Pusha T's in good company. He joins Jadakiss, Rohan Marley, Cypress Hill, and Jimmy Butler, who've all ventured into the coffee industry in recent years. One thing I'll say, coffee doesn't discriminate. Everyone everywhere drinks it, and there's plenty of money to be made in coffee. So, congratulations to Pusha T. What are you doing for New Year's? You know, I don't think I've gone out. I don't think I've gone out for New Year's since I was probably a teenager. Like I'm talking like we going back like 20 years. And I can remember me and my cousin, shout out to Vin. Me and my cousin Vin went to the fireworks down in Philly. And then another year, I think I did the same thing with someone I was dating at the time. But, I mean, things change. If I go somewhere, I'll let you know on the next show. Let me know what you did, though. So, man, drones have been flying over New Jersey. I know, cue up the sound effects. And we've been getting all kinds of theories that first is military related, that it's Iran, that it's alien orbs, and aliens listen. I saw you in the neighborhood out on our lawns the other night. Look at the picture. You see them in the lower half of the photo? 2 green orbs. Listen, don't even bother staying here. Earth is the trenches. And tell the others too. They don't want to come here. Just go back through the interstellar tunnel. But with these Jersey drones, someone even had Chris Christie and McDonald's involved, but then that was an AI hoax, so I leave that alone. But now supposedly the drones are looking for radioactive material. So I was watching Channel 5, Good Day New York, a few weeks ago. Normally I watch Mike and Alex when I'm at home. But I was at an appointment they had on Channel 5, and Rosanna and Kurt and the mayor of Bloomfield. No, Belleville. And that's a town in New Jersey, not far from Newark. Shout out to Newark. The mayor was on, and he said that a shipment of radioactive material was damaged, and that the drones were looking for it. I mean, radioactive material is serious. So, like some of our older viewers will remember Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island, all the things that went on with that. But I don't know. They have a whole team. It's called NEST, NEST, and they look for radioactive material. They damn sure ain't using no drones. There were also reports of lasers shining at planes. I'll say, listen, I'll say this. The veil is lifting, and it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. All that is unseen will be seen. Earth ain't the only thing that ain't flat. I mean, look at what's going on right now in Washington. I mean, we knew. But see, unseen being seen. It's 3 a.m. Eternal. KLF is gonna rock you. You know, you know. So, shout out to my real, music fans. So I was wrong about the Super Bowl going to Lizzo. And shout out to Lizzo, by the way. Lizzo, I saw you on Baby This Is Kiki the other day. You looking real right. Both of y'all. But listen, I was close. It's still a black artist, the boy Kenny, K. Dot, all right, Kendrick Lamar. You remember on the Spring Men's panel with Khai and Joey, Khai mentioned, it might be a country artist. I mean, Beyonce is doing that Christmas halftime later today. They just extended the time that she's going to do it. I feel like Baltimore is going to win that, by the way. Shout out to Mayor Scott. But listen, don't do your parlays based on me. I'm not the sports bet guy. All right. Now for the Super Bowl, I think Rams and Eagles win. But again, listen, I'm not the sports bet guy. Don't base your parlays on me. Man. Angel Reese broke her wrist. Yeah, I like her. Get well soon. Burna Boy and Chloe Bailey. Jackass is throwing glass at Jamie Foxx on his birthday. Beyond disrespectful. Raven Simone saying we only watch that so Raven as teenagers for her boobs. It's Christmas. Milk, Impossible Meat, potato chips, all being recalled. McDonald's about to start selling Krispy Kremes. Big bag, big bag. Your uncle's still asking you for money. And your grandmama want to know when she's getting great grandbabies. Might be sooner than she thinks. The Deltas is pushing and shoving chicks at the club. Mm-hmm. Gospel singers getting arrested. Head asses is using bat shit to grow weed. Ouija went full on Waluigi on us. The teriyaki joints chopping up meat on the ground. Fingerprints catching shoplifters. And Diddy. Shout out to Joey.
Oh, yeah, he going to jail. My boy going to jail. You can't feed somebody mad ketamine and don't think that you're not going to jail, bro. She said that she'll never remember again. She'll never remember the same way ever again. And that's what Cassie said. And then Young Miami doing cocaine. It's a hell of a drug, dude.
Diddy's losing weight too, they said. Well, he doesn't have access to all that rich food, and everything. Everyone is distancing themselves too. You know something, at Khai's party Friday night, no Diddy. I don't even think I heard a single Bad Boy record. And it wasn't even like we missed out. Like you were two DJs, mind you, and I mean not one Bad Boy record. And our radio station here cut him off of the records too. I heard Big Papa, the part, tell your friends to get with my friends, gone. And another one, Party City is no more. I know. So Friday morning, during a meeting, the CEO, Barry Litwin, told employees that Party City was, quote, winding down operations immediately, and that December 20th would be their last day of employment. Staff were also told that they would not be receiving severance pay and that their benefits would end as the company goes out of business. Party City had been having financial issues for quite some time, and in January of 2023 filed bankruptcy, which led to a restructuring that closed some of their stores. When Party City exited bankruptcy in September of 2023, the New Jersey-based retailer still wasn't able to overcome its financial challenges. The company, which sells balloons, Halloween costumes, and other party goods, has stumbled in the face of growing competition from e-commerce sites and pop-up concepts like Spirit Halloween, Competition from big box retailers like Amazon, Walmart, Costco, and others also crushed small chains. It also had to contend with the rising costs during the pandemic and a helium shortage, which hurt its crucial balloon business. Now, who even knew there was a helium shortage? The chain joins a growing list of retailer bankruptcies this year as customers cut back on discretionary spending amid the rising cost of living. They were $1.7 billion in debt. Maybe it was that Thriller commercial. I don't know. Detailing corporate employees' benefits and severance, Party City's Chief Human Resources Officer, Karen McGowan, broke down in tears several times on the short conference call. It's ice cold already to just lay people off less than a week before Christmas. I mean, laying anyone off in the fourth quarter is unconscionable, but no severance pay or benefits? We're sorry to hear about this. I mean, and good luck to you. Good luck to everyone who worked at Big Lots too. They're going through something similar. You know, but it's crazy. I had taken my Gucci out for her birthday. Shout out to Gucci. And we went to Bahama Breeze. And it was around the corner from my house from where I live now. And about a week later, they had a sign on the door that said, "We're permanently closed." I know. The employees were none the wiser. They did the same thing to the Fridays and the Red Lobster near me too. But I wonder if the CEO from Party City is on high alert. You know, after what happened with United Healthcare with that guy. No. Anyway, before we go, I want to give a special Christmas shout out to my new homegirl, Ellie the Elephant, at Big Ellie Liberty on IG. Congratulations to you, sis, for winning the mascot twerk battle up in Montreal last week. Look at her go. Look at Ellie go. And shout out to the homie Victor the Viking as well. I saw you shooting your shot at Ellie. Yep, 'tis the season. Victor, did you see Ellie's Christmas list? You got your work cut out for you, bro. She wants a Sony Alpha 7 IV and mad new sneakers. Do you hear? Ellie thought that sprinkle. Mad new sneakers. Oh man, I missed you. I missed doing you. Look. Anyway, posthumous congratulations to Mr. Frankie Beverly. Our legendary cookout anthem software update record was finally certified platinum. The RIAA certified Before I Let Go platinum on December 6th, which would have been Beverly's 78th birthday. Beverly, who passed away on September 10th, was honored back in May as the 6,000 block of North Norwood Street. The block he grew up on was renamed Frankie Beverly Way. Look at him and Donnie Simpson right there. Before I Let Go was originally released January 9th, 1981. I call it one of those records that grew up with hip hop because so many rappers have used it in their records. From the Funky Four to Dougie to Keith Murray, you know, even Jadakiss, even R&B singers like, you know, Beyonce. And one of my favorite uses of the track is Vivian Green's Get Right Back to My Baby. I'm glad they gave him his flowers while he was still here. Rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. Now, I saw you certified Do Me Baby by Melissa Morgan. And so let's work on certifying Fool's Paradise by her and Saturday Love. Okay? Saturday Love. Recording Industry Association of America. Listen. Protect your peace. You may have weird family members who are going to say some weird things later on today at dinner. You know you. So stay true to you. You understand? Things are going to look crazy in the coming weeks, but we're going to be fine. Keep the faith. and stay close to the people who uplift you and make you feel good. Don't engage with the creatures under the bridge. Sometimes I rewatch our show. And while I was watching, I thought about an interview that I saw with Moody Man. And he was talking about how Prince's dirty mind gave him the perception that he needed a band in order to do an album. Moody Man, if you don't know, is a DJ and producer based out of the D. All right. So anyway, he said, when he heard 1999, he realized that he didn't need a band. All he needed was a drum machine, because 1999 let him know that he could do a great album without a bunch of niggas he had to chase around because they were out getting high or, you know, chasing women or not on time or some other shit. And I said, wow, if this isn't familiar, like, I had to threaten someone just to commit to the dates we agreed to record. I had another person eat their fucking breakfast, fucking donuts, while we were taping. Oh, and that's not even the worst. That's not even the worst. I had to scrap an entire episode because another person came late, dipped early, and while they were on, kept losing their connection. It's like, you know, when you have a situation when you're bringing together a group, you really end up taking on everyone's vices. If they late, you end up being late. If they sick, then you have to wait for them to get better. Or in my case, postpone recordings, you know, 5 to 7 times. Or they want to bring a friend or 2 or 5. And now I have to explain things. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Get where I'm going with this? So I think it's a greater lesson for me because I've always been the one to want to help other people and put them on when I need to be worried about myself. So here I am. I have my drum machine. By the way, a couple of you asked what happened to my voice, because in that bonus track at the end of the spring men's panel, I sounded a little different. You know, the video, the election video. Someone said, y'all are wild. Someone said I talk how Giveon sings. So here's the deal. I had acid reflux, which developed into something called LPR. And I shouldn't really say I had, because I still have it, but I treat it with medication and diet. So unfortunately, I had let it go untreated for several years when I was in my 20s, and it ended up progressing into a disorder called reflux laryngitis, which in turn damaged my voice. Now, although I won't say damaged because my voice isn't ruined, it's just a little deeper than it used to be. And some of you like that, apparently. There was a guy at Khai's party, and he had a deep voice as well, but his tone was very old school, like James Earl Jones or Vaughn Harper. And people were telling him he sounded like Candyman. You know, some of you really need to be in writers' rooms with these roasts that you do. Wait, and then some guy goes, like, oh my God, is that your real voice? Anyway, we're out of time for today. We'll talk about Pap and Remy and the Michael Jackson movie next time. And listen to me, and listen to me good. Don't internalize other people's trauma. Protect your peace. Set boundaries and barriers. I am your host, Cris David. Happy holidays. I'm still blacker than a seafood bus trip. And this is the Cris David Show. If you or someone you know has a question, email us, info@thecrisdavidshow.com. Thanks for listening and watching. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your baby daddy, tell your boyfriend, tell your sister, tell your cat, tell your dog, tell your doctor. Tell everyone under the mistletoe to follow us on Instagram at Cris David TV and follow our show at The Cris David Show on Instagram and YouTube. You can also visit CrisDavidShow.com. There you'll find everything you need to know about the show. Be kind and be well.